Welcome to the Zodiac chat line for our full moon in Gemini show. I am your host today, and of course, I have Cassie with me. Hey, Cassie girl.
Hello. How are
Hello.
you?
Um, you know, as one would with Cancer energy, these moons, full and new, full moon, this one I am feeling a very drained. Um, I just are tired. I think a lot it being a Gemini moon and Mercury just went direct, so still a little foggy. Yeah. Here we are though. It's cold AF. How are you?
Same. Exact. Check, check, check. Just feeling sleepy a little bit. Yeah, like the moon is not, this isn't like the fun spot for the moon really in Gemini. It's not it's not the worst place it could
Mm-mm.
be, but it's not a particularly um positive placement for the moon. And this just, I think Sagittarius energy burns, and then the
The vapors.
opposition with the Gemini is just kind of like, yeah, leaving me running on fumes.
They are. It's like, yeah, Sagittarius is the burn and Gemini is the vapors. But
Yeah.
this is the last full moon of the year.
Wow. Okay.
So it's the second biggest full moon. Actually, our full moon, I think, in Scorpio is the largest, but it is the one that's closest to the solstice. So this is called the cold moon. And if you live, well, who knows? But where Cassie live for sure, and
North of Jacksonville. Like,
surprisingly where I live, it's chilly. We are in the beginning of Sagittarius season, of course. Um, because that's how the moons are running out right now. So hey, whatever. But for this full moon in Gemini, the sun is in Sagittarius. It did pop in there on the 21st, the day after the new moon in Scorpio. So again, we're all kind of switched around. The full moon is on the December the 4th in Gemini. Mercury is in Scorpio and will move into Sagittarius on the 11th of December. Venus is in Sagittarius. Mars is in Sagittarius and will move into Capricorn on the 15th of December. Jupiter is still in Cancer and still retrograde. Saturn is in Pisces going direct. And so this is newer direct energy. And so this should be interesting. Uranus is in Taurus once again, and it is also retrograde. So remember those lessons from the last time Uranus was in Taurus for quite some time. We are just wrapping it up right about now. Neptune is retrograde in Pisces, but will find its way direct on the 10th of December. Pluto, of course, is still in Aquarius, as it will be for quite some time. And our North Node is in Pisces. So lots of mutable energy, a little bit fixed, a smidge of cardinal. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. A
Cancer
droplet, a
retrograde
droplet,
Capricorn. That's like barely cardinal energy.
a droplet. Like eyedropper, teardropper, all of that. But um heavy mutable energy, and adaptability has is one of those traits that our lovely mutable signs possess. That's Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces. Of course, those are the four mutable signs because they are the signs that transition us from one season to the next. And so, of course, we are in Sagittarius season, which will transition us into winter. And this is a very interesting time, I think, for us all. I think, especially if you follow the cycles of the moon, just getting closer to the solstice and kind of shedding a lot of things. Things are beginning to go dormant. now, slowly but surely. I'm sure. Well, okay, I'll speak for myself. Where I am, the leaves is on the ground. Okay, they is crunched everywhere. The leaves are everywhere, and that's another indicator that we are moving into another season. So, Cassie, what are your thoughts on how people can use this full moon energy?
That's a great question. I think you brought up a really good point about the mutable energy in the sky and like adaptability really being your best friend right now. And I think that is especially true with the Saturn in Pisces and Neptune in Pisces, both visiting that sign where they were for a long time, for the last time for many years. And I think that right now, nothing feels very firm. A lot of things are shifting over the next few months. And as we start 2026, a 1 year, a fresh start. I mean, we're really going to get the fresh start whether we want to or not. Things are getting reset. Old stuff is going away, and being prepared by being adaptable. And I think, you know, maybe one of Gemini's gifts and curses, maybe, is depending on how they use it, is like the ability to play devil's advocate. And
Mm.
so maybe, at this full moon, kind of looking at the things that you may be clinging to and asking yourself, like, but what if, like, what if I did lose this, or what, and kind of gaming it out. So I don't think it's a good time to make a plan per se, but I do think that with a lot of mutable energy, it's a good time to think of scenarios. And that's something I do for myself, is like, you know, I think about what kind of risks I'd be willing to take, what kind of, if something catastrophic happened, what might I do? How might I react? Like, if this happened, what now? And allowing yourself to think a little bit about aspects of your life that, you know, you maybe take for granted, or you aren't thinking that deeply about, and just acknowledging that they could change, and thinking about ways that you can um create inner security for yourself, so that when your outer circumstances change, you don't feel so disoriented. Maybe some nice journaling, a
I would.
little brain dump on the page.
I was just gonna say, because a couple things, as we remind you frequently, please know what your chart is, rising sign. That way you can know exactly where each of these signs land in your chart in your house. It's not going to be the same for everybody. Some people do have similar looking charts because they have the same rising sign, but it does affect people differently. And so just kind of look and see where you have Gemini. Gemini does rule our short trips, our siblings, and especially communication. That's why we talk a lot about when Mercury goes retrograde. Gemini's also Virgo being ruled by Mercury, but Gemini specifically are our chatterboxes of the zodiac. And I would encourage everybody to think about their own conversations and words and thoughts that they speak to themselves, and
Mm.
letting go of, like, letting go. I like, as Cassie said, this is a 9 year, we are going into a 1 year, this is our last full moon of the year. And because Gemini is such a communicative type of sign, journaling, I like audio journaling by just using a recorder and doing that, but I also like Cassie's idea, like writing it out. Cassie is a writer, and so yeah, pen to paper, but also your words and what you're saying to people, what you're writing, and how you're speaking to other people, how you're speaking to yourself, how you're speaking to your smaller inner child self too, and so I would take this time to like free up some mental energy because a lot of Gemini energy is very mercurial and it is very mental. They are air signs, very similar to Aquarius and Libra. But Gemini is mutable air. And so that is the quickest form of air that is the most unstable. And like, not saying the Geminis are unstable, but I mean, they're unfortunately living proof humans, so they say. I'm just talking shit. I love my Geminis. Um, y'all are cool and fun and entertainment for me. Anyway. But I love y'all though. Y'all cool, but y'all be doing too much. But so look at where Gemini is in your chart. Think about how you want, what kind of communication you want to get rid of, like during this full moon,
Mm.
or, and I mean by that, how are you speaking to other people, even the words that you're using, how are you speaking to children, just are you listening? Communication is also a part of listening. Like, are you listening better? Or are you just kind of hearing things and tuning it out? I know we're all guilty of that, but active listening is a thing. So really focus in on that Gemini energy. Again, this is the last full moon of the year, y'all. The last. I mean, it's kind of crazy because the year is almost out. It just seems like we blinked. But this is the last full moon and it is closest to the solstice. And, our solstice is, for I think Cassie and myself, quite a sacred time for us both. Because it means a lot to us personally, but just in terms of magical people that like to worship the earth. And this is a really beautiful full moon to just let go. And Geminis, they can teach you the art of just letting go because they be out, y'all. Okay,
They
so
they let go before they even grabbed on. You hit on something so brilliant. I think there in how you speak and what you we're speaking into existence. I think that's so important to think about. And um, like one thing I noticed for myself is I pray. Okay. So I pray every day at multiple times a day in different ways. And at night, I usually, when I'm praying, am like saying what I'm grateful for. And then also like praying for certain things to be. And I noticed myself praying like a few weeks ago. I noticed that I was praying for like things I didn't want. Like I wanted like praying for certain things to end or for
mm,
certain systems to like fall away. And then I realized like I need to be praying for what I want and reframing it as like instead of there has to be something to fill that void, right? Like it can't be like I want an end to war. It's like I want peace. You know what I mean? And like it's not that like the two things aren't equivalent because one is not a way forward. One is
mhm.
backward looking. And I in talking about, the end of this cycle of 10 years and the end of the year we're in and the last moon cycle of the year, like it does. I think you're exactly right that it hits on this is a great time of year to take an inventory of the language you're using and how you're speaking about things to others, to yourself, to the universe. Because every thought is a prayer and the things you focus on you receive. So I'm gonna heed your advice. I'm gonna continue to work on that
I'm
because
gonna heed
that's
my own
that's
advice
really important.
because
Yeah, right.
we know it's pretty lethal over here. We get to get a little crazy.
Yeah.
um, um, what I was gonna say, see, this happens, brain. We get into this and I forgot. With this last bit of Gemini energy that we are about to experience, um, also have a little fun. Also laugh, like find some humor and jokes. I mean, like Geminis are known a little bit as tricksters and jokesters, so find some humor in it. We are again continuing to approach another holiday. I did see that for some people it was Thanksgiving was interesting. And so I encourage you again to find your own community for the holidays and speaking life into that community. Because like Cassie said, prayer is however you want it. And I personally, okay, in my opinion, don't think that there is one way to pray. I feel like if you have a connection with a higher power and you want to have a communication with them, that's what prayer is. To me, prayer is you having a conversation with the higher power that you subscribe to. And a lot of times that higher power is actually your higher self, and it's the enlightened version of yourself that's in there. You're just talking to yourself, just learning how to grow with that. And so just use this Gemini full moon to just get it together. No, I'm just kidding. But as Cassie said,
Good luck.
not a planning one, but kind of just a take stock, and
Mhm.
this is a good time to jot down some thoughts, some notes, see what comes up. Brain dump is great. And as we pivot, just know this is what we gotta talk about. Don't talk about nobody if you don't have the money to pay for your lawyer. Okay. A lot of times celebrities, and I think a lot of times in our society, gossip and um we grew up with the Inquirer, tabloid mags, all those things. And Gemini energy does kind of lean towards that gossipy. But recently, Megan the Stallion, because we are Megan the Stallion fans here with the Zodiac chat line. If you ever question it, never question it. One, she's an Aquarius. Two, she's Megan the Stallion. Anyway, she did file a defamation lawsuit against a blogger who basically was saying terrible things about Megan when that midget shot her back in 2020, and continued to perpetuate negative things about Megan the Stallion, including, and Cassie will get into this, but a deep fake corn video of her. So we've been talking about AI. Cassie will finish there, but Megan Thee Stallion sued and won. And I think that that is a testament to a lesson of like, you can't just say whatever the fuck you want to say about people and not think somebody's not going to say anything about it. I mean, you can, but you're going to have to pay. And it wasn't as much as Megan filed for, but I think the principle is still there of being on a gossip, trying to make money off of a celebrity. And as a random side note, please stop treating Black women like they deserve to be treated like shit. That's just stop. Like the narratives that were being said about her, the narratives that are being said about her and her current partner, Klay Thompson, and like how he loves on her, allow Black women to be soft, to be loved, to be cherished, and not to be drugged through and talked about. Like, that's all I'm saying. Okay. Cassie has some great news, though. That was my news for the day.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see that come down, like right as we're going into this full moon in Gemini, because the Gemini Sagittarius axis is very much the truth and what's said, right? Like,
Yes,
and
that's it.
so always happy to see Megan the Stallion win. And win she shall forever, I hope.
Speaking into
So
existence.
that's right. As you hit on with the deep fate pornography, as it were. One thing, there's been some good news that has come out lately. It's buried under layers of fuckery. But I saw the headline that 10,000 acres of land is being returned to the Washoe tribe outside of Lake Tahoe. That's great. Land back. Allow indigenous people to steward the land, so that we don't all die. And speaking of that and AI, another thing that I found really heartening is, it's happening here in Michigan, but all over the country. Communities of all different kinds are getting together in their community and saying, hey, we prefer natural resources to AI data centers. And these shits are being shut down in places in Michigan, in places that surely Donald Trump won by 30 or 40 points. I mean, Howell, Michigan, that's not a place I want to go.
Nope.
But they shut down the AI data center that wanted to come there because everybody everywhere is calling bullshit. We didn't ask for this technology and we don't want it to suck up all our drinking water, and bullshit, our energy bills are not going to go up. Everywhere these things have gone in, energy costs have risen, whether depending on the municipality how that cost is bore out. But like, you're going to build a data center that sucks up the amount of power and water that a city of 50 or 60,000 people would, and you're going to tell us it's not a strain on our grid that already is in disrepair. Like, no. So I also find that extremely heartening. I think that's very Pluto and Aquarius energy to me, especially like the
Technology.
whole technology of it all. And we've said it before, we've said it probably every show this year. We're all going to get through this, or none of us are. Like, us being our best individual selves is not going to get us through this. Us leveraging our human connections with the people around us and sustaining each other through the challenges that are to come is the thing, if anything, that's going to get us out of this. And guys, the earth will get out of this. With us or without us.
She's gonna
And
make
I'm
it
on
out
Earth's
alive, okay?
side. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm team Earth. So I'm going to do everything I can to stay on the Earth's good side. And I hope you're coming with us.
Listen, we can already see the how the seasons are drastically swinging. Earlier than before, how earthquakes, hurricanes, other natural disasters are wiping out communities. Jamaica is still, okay, trying to gather themselves together. And it's going to be a while before that happens.
Hundreds of people in the Philippines, in Indonesia, dead due to floods and mudslides. And it's not even a fucking headline because everything is so bonkers all of the time. But like, this is happening. And like, if it hasn't happened in your community yet, that's wonderful. But again, shit is shifty. And just because something hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not going to.
We've been saying this the whole time as we've watched it in real time. Oh, it's not affecting me. And here we are. It's affecting you. Shocker.
Mhm.
Also, don't forget, just because we don't hear about it, there are still people that need help feeding their families. There are also Meals on Wheels for senior citizens. There are also, we just have to continue to help our community. Do not be lulled into a false sense of we don't hear about it. It's not still happening. Just saying.
True, 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 true.
You ready?
Hmm.
Okay. If you want to hit the check line, I guess you can. Whatever.
You got a couple weeks.
We have our Moonology cards, Oracle cards by Yasmin Bolin. This is one of her Moonology decks. And of course, what's on the back? The cycles of the moon. This is the full moon, just in case y'all didn't know. This is
There
the
we
new
are.
moon. This is the full moon. I guess I could do it like that. Full moon.
There you go. There you go. Mm.
And then what's really interesting about this particular deck? Ooh, what's that one? New
Ooh,
moon.
full moon eclipse.
Yeah, there
Mm.
you go.
Conclusions are within reach. I bet they are. Hmm.
New
New moon in
moon. So
Sagittarius. We'll see
there's
you
new
soon.
moons in here, full moons, eclipses. There's a blue moon in here. There's a North Node card in here. So there's lots of different cards and phases of the moon. But I really enjoy this deck because it gives great lessons about whichever the moon cycle is, and it also gives some good ritual options for you. So for our last full moon pull of 2025. Gemini full moon. I'm gonna shuffle, and whenever you're ready, Cassie.
Mm. When am I ready? I'm ready.
She said, "She ready." You a witch. Okay. You and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer.
Yes. Uh, that is my moon.
I
I was
know.
born
That's
under
why.
the new moon in Cancer.
That's exactly why I said, "You witch."
Uh, it's true.
It is true. There's no question that it's not true, but that's not the point. She got exactly what I meant when I said it too. As soon as she heard, she was like, "That's why she said that." It is. It is. But anyways, we love it. Listen, while we said the moon in Gemini is not a favorable placement, the moon in Cancer is the most favorable next to Taurus, which is just like favorable in a different way. But the moon lives in Cancer
Mhm.
again, which is why those of y'all and us with Cancer placements, anytime a full moon and a new moon pop up, you know, I mean, I
We're
feel
feeling it.
good, but sometimes I feel like other people, like, you know how there's the saying the full moon everybody goes crazy. As I don't ever feel crazy on the full moon. I
Mm-mm.
feel very like at peace. I feel like
Hmm.
at home. Maybe I feel tired, but I don't feel. I just be watching.
That's it. Yep. Hmm. 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 Hmm.
For all you other
Yeah.
people who cannot handle
Uh-huh.
the moon
Uh-huh.
cycles,
Yeah.
it's very
Right.
evident. You're not hiding anything. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, this is a beautiful already sentiment. Let's find out what else we're going to learn. Okay, ready? What are we going to do?
Oh, these cars are so pretty too. And they're not like
Not too
uh
much.
yeah, they're not overdone. It's just
Yeah,
they're beautiful.
yeah. Really, look, little crab, some words.
Hmm.
Okay. There is a new start coming in your private life. Something is rising up in connection with the people and places you hold dearest. This can be to do with a member of your family, a flatmate, or moving house. If you're hoping to move forwards with something special in your private life, this card comes to you as a message that you can do it. If you've been neglecting your family, it's time to reconnect with them. If you've been neglecting yourself, you need to take better care of yourself and nurture yourself more. If your insecurity is holding you back, that's something you could work on for now. Doing so could bring you your heart's desire. To attune to the moon, make sure you put family first. Additional meanings for this card. Let someone a bit closer to you. A new cycle is starting for your children or child or children. It's time to review your goals. Have they changed? Meditation will help you banish your insecurities. Spending time near water will bring you peace and answers.
Mm.
The teaching. The new moon in Cancer can be super emotional time, can be a super emotional time. The moon is all about emotions, and Cancer is a water sign and also a very emotional. Let me repeat that because that sounded crazy. The moon is all about emotions, and Cancer is a water sign and also very emotional. Saying that, the moon is very happy in the sign of Cancer. It's one of her two home signs along with Taurus. So whenever you pull it, this card suggests that whatever happens next will be in your favor. It's especially positive for family matters. I love a lot of the things that it said. Again, it did say put family first, but I want to reiterate that that does not mean always your blood biological family. That can also mean the family that you have chosen or that has chosen you. Part of your biological family can be a part of that unit, but you are entitled to create whatever family looks like to you. It does not have to be what somebody tells you that the family you're born into is your family. That is just the place that your soul had to start. That does not mean that's where you have to stay. And especially for those of you who identify differently than your nuclear family, there are people that love you out there, and there is a larger family out there that is willing to embrace you. I have been without a parent since I was 19 years old, and I've created an amazing family around me. I still have some parts of my biological family, but I've created a very large, my own family unit outside of that. So that is what I got from that. Cancer
Hell
Queen.
yeah. Yes, that's perfect. I mean, yeah, I think that's another, especially this time of year, not the time of year of the new moon in Cancer, obviously, but this is a time of year where traditionally we're connecting with our family and loved ones. And um, to the extent that is a positive thing in your life, because I recognize that for some people, their blood
Traumatizing.
family especially can be it's not a positive experience, and these are very stressful times if you have a difficult relationship or difficult relationships within your family, or you've experienced loss recently or in the distant past. I mean, it's tough, but the places and the people you love who do fill you with joy and help you fill your own cup, like, this is a great time of year to be with them and to allow yourself to be supported and offer support and support yourself. I'm here for that messaging.
Me too. No, and as Cassie said, I do want to reiterate, I do have people that are close to me that have lost people that are extremely close to them recently. And you know, anytime a first holiday happens when you lose someone is sometimes one of the hardest ones. And so I do send a special bit of love and tender care to you folks, and you know who you are. But for everybody else, same to you. If you have, you need a moment, take a moment. It is okay. Write a poem about it. You never know. Or a rap. You know what? You can write a rap. You know what? Forget a poem. We in 2025. Write a rap, you know? Or a haiku. I'm just kidding. Anyways, we hope you guys enjoyed. Like, share, subscribe if you want to. Check out all the other ones. See how we've improved over the years. Sorry, I'm slap happy at this point. It's the moon. Anyway, okay. Cassie, I love you, girl.
I
Wouldn't want
love
to
you,
do
my
this
friend.
without you. Happy full moon in Gemini. Y'all, as always, it's all love. Cause what? We out of here. Peace.